The woman had just broken up with her boyfriend. She angrily complained to God, asking why she could never meet a good man. The very next second, a bolt of lightning struck a comic book on her table, and then the domineering president from the story was suddenly summoned into the real world. The woman was utterly stunned, but the president told her that he can only stay in this world for 7 days and would grant her 7 wishes before leaving. The woman recalled how she had dated her boyfriend for years, but after he became successful, he abandoned her for his wealthy female boss. Furious, she immediately made her first wish to be rich. Instantly, the president handed her a black card with unlimited spending and arranged several luxury cars and a team of bodyguards, saying they would all serve her exclusively. Then he took her on a shopping spree where she could pick anything she wanted. After her shopping, he brought her to a mansion. When she saw a full staff of butlers and maids waiting for her, she felt like she was dreaming. She pinched herself, only to realize everything was real. The next morning, when the woman woke up, the president revealed that he had already bought out her ex-boyfriend's company and named her the new CEO. He planned to teach that man a lesson. They went to the company together. The president pulled out a huge box of cash in front of the man and gave him an offer. If he broke up with his wealthy boss, all the money would be his. To everyone's shock, the man immediately slapped the female boss across the face.
The little girl had just been adopted when she used a power drill to remove the lock from her brother's bedroom door. But her adoptive parents did not get angry at all. Instead, they prepared a huge pile of gifts for her. It turned out that their son suffered from severe social anxiety disorder. He not only hated talking but also locked himself in his room every single day. To help their son get better, the couple went to the orphanage, hoping to find a playmate for him. When the director learned about their request, she recommended the little girl to them. The girl was lively, cheerful and extremely well behaved, and her only flaw was that she talked too much. The couple was overjoyed, for that was exactly the kind of child they wanted. So they adopted the little girl and brought her back home. The adoptive mother told the girl that her son had autism, which meant the girl could talk to him as much as she wanted. The adoptive father also said that if the girl could get the boy to speak, he would grant her any wish she had. Hearing this, the girl was filled with joy. Since the boy refused to open the door, the girl took off his door lock without hesitation. Inside the room, the boy was reading a book quietly. The girl immediately reminded him to keep track of his reading time and protect his eyesight. Then she started talking about the content of the book. The boy thought she was way too noisy and tried to leave, but the girl held him back. She went on telling him about the interesting experiences she had at the orphanage. An hour later, the boy finally could not stand it anymore and walked out of his bedroom on his own for the first time. His parents were overwhelmed with excitement when they saw the scene. The adoptive mother even decided to let the girl live here for the rest of her life. To reward the girl, the couple decided to take her shopping. However, as they were about to go out, the girl saw the boy standing alone on the stairs. Seeing the loneliness in his eyes, the girl realized that the boy must also want to live a normal life. So she immediately told her adoptive parents that she did not want to go out anymore and wanted to stay to talk with her brother. The adoptive parents were deeply moved when they saw how sensible the girl was. They then made a decision right away. They would send the girl to school. The girl immediately asked if her brother would go to school with her, but the adoptive parents dared not do that, for they were afraid the boy would feel terrified in crowded places. The girl said she had looked up information and that the boy's condition was now good enough to try interacting with peers. She also said she would stay by the boy's side and protect him. After hearing what the girl said, the couple thought it over and then decided to let their son give school a try first. Before long, the girl took the boy into the school. Seeing such a big campus, the girl was over the moon, but the boy was trembling with fear. The girl noticed the boy's mood right away, so she took out 2 electronic watches from her school bag and gave one to the boy and kept one for herself. She told the boy that he could contact her through the watch if anything happened to him. She said she would come to his side as soon as possible. Hearing the girl's words, the boy was deeply touched, and he thought having a sister was a good thing for the first time. After school, the girl found that the boy was gone, and just then she received a call from him. When she heard the voices of someone mocking the boy on the other end, she immediately realized that the boy was in danger. A bad boy led his friends and tried to snatch the boy's watch. At the critical moment, the girl arrived in time. The girl picked up a baseball bat nearby and warned them to leave at once. But those bad boys started fighting with her for the baseball bat, and soon the bat was thrown on the ground by them. The girl told the boy to run away quickly, and to everyone's surprise, the boy picked up the baseball bat. He even shouted at everyone, "Don't bully my sister."
On his first day at work, the guy got hit with the most insane request ever. The CEO wanted him to be her boyfriend. He was utterly stunned, thinking she must be joking. To show her sincerity, she handed him a black card with no spending limit. The guy froze, not knowing how to respond. Misreading his hesitation, the CEO immediately upped her offer, adding a sports car and a villa to the deal. All he had to do was say yes, and it would all be his. He was completely baffled. He couldn't understand why a powerful woman would be interested in a poor guy like him. What he didn't know was that just a few hours earlier, on his subway ride to work, a sudden bright light in the tunnel flashed before his eyes. When he opened them again, everyone in the subway car had turned into women, and all of them were staring at him with strange, fanatical eyes. Even an elderly lady nearby started flirting, telling him to sit on her lap. He thought he was hallucinating, but when he stepped off the train, women surrounded him with their phones, snapping pictures. Within minutes, he was trending. It turned out that he had accidentally entered a world with a severe gender imbalance, and fewer than 10 men remained on the entire planet. When he arrived at the company, every female employee swarmed to greet him. Some carried his bag, others fanned him. His brain completely crashed. He had no idea why every woman seemed fixated on him. That's when the CEO stepped in, smoothly dispersing the crowd and telling him to come to her office. His heart rate hit max level. The girl was the saint of the demigod race, and her mission was to slay demons and protect humans. One day, she discovered that a powerful demon soul resided within a deceased human general. To absorb its power, she brought him back to life, planning to kill him and claim the demon soul once it fully awakened. 3 years passed, the demon soul inside the general grew increasingly restless. Each time it flared up, he would slit his hand to force himself to stay conscious. To suppress it, he traveled the lands with his guards, rooting out demons, while secretly searching for the legendary saint. That night, another girl was killed on her wedding night, dying in the exact same way as the previous brides. People suspected it was the work of a demon known to draw young maidens to make wishes. It was said that painting pear blossoms on one's fingernails could summon it to make a deal. The groom was drowning in grief. Seeing this, his mother comforted him, promising to find him a new bride. The general arrived at the scene and examined the body, but he couldn't confirm it was a demon's doing. At that moment, a maid rushed to report that a new bride had appeared in the bridal chamber. He immediately headed there with his men. It turned out that the girl had been passing by when she sensed a dense demonic aura around the mansion. She disguised herself as a bride and painted pear blossoms on her nails, but failed to lure the demon out. She then reverted to her original appearance. The general questioned whether she was the one who had killed the brides. The girl recognized him but said nothing. The groom immediately pointed at her, claiming her silence proved her guilt. Yet he soon noticed her striking beauty and invited her for a final date before her execution. The girl kindly warned him that the demon was still in the house, and that he had already been marked by it. Hearing this, the groom's mother angrily threw a pear at her. The girl felt offended and raised her hand to strike back. Before her attack could land, the general drew his sword and blocked it. He ordered his guard to take them away, then held the sword to her throat. The girl couldn't understand why he would protect such a shameless man. Yet the general replied that it was because he was also a human. Hearing this, she instantly regretted saving a blindly good man, and decided to take his life back. She flew up into the air, and the general found himself unable to move. He could only watch helplessly as she approached and kissed him. Suddenly, a scream shattered the moment, and the girl told him that the person he wanted to protect was dead. Just a short while ago, the groom had returned and brought out the body of his dead bride. When the guard tried to step forward to help, the groom stopped him in panic. At that moment, the white shroud slipped, revealing the wound on the bride's neck. The guard noticed it didn't look like demon marks, but before he could look more closely, the body was covered again. The mother claimed they were now safe and hurriedly sent the guard away. When seen again, the groom was tied up in the wedding chamber, brutally murdered. Then a pear tree on the beam gathered black resentment. Taking the shape of a demon, it was the dead bride herself.
I took 10 bodyguards and went to the mall. I planned to buy all the luxury goods. When I saw a bag that I had liked for a long time, I immediately took out my husband's bank card to swipe it, but the card reader showed insufficient balance. I was so embarrassed that I wanted to dig a hole and hide. I had to settle for buying a pair of $100 socks, but the card still had no money. I was so angry that I gritted my teeth. I believed that my husband was playing a trick on me. I could only sheepishly leave the mall with my bodyguards. Just outside, I saw someone selling ice cream. One was only $5. I wanted to see how stingy that terrible husband really was. I walked over, took out the bank card, and said I wanted to buy one. The seller immediately took out the card reader and swiped my card. But under my full expectation, this time I finally successfully bought the ice cream. But the bodyguard said the card was completely out of money. I was furious and returned home. I slapped the bank card in front of my husband. I said sarcastically that he should hide it well, so it wouldn't be stolen by thieves. I had shopped all day and hadn't even eaten. Fortunately, the maid had prepared dinner. I ate all the pasta in one go. I prepared to go back to my room to rest, but my husband advised me to eat more. I coldly said I was already full from anger. Seeing the empty plate I had eaten clean, his expression made me even angrier. Watching him leave arrogantly, I secretly decided to let my mother-in-law know how he bullied me. Soon we arrived at my mother-in-law's house. My husband stuffed a fruit into my mouth. He told me I could only eat and not speak. I was so angry that I cursed him in my heart. My mother-in-law walked in enthusiastically. I immediately went up to complain. I said I saw a scarf that was especially suitable for her. I casually threw that box of ice cream on the ground. Only then did my husband understand that I was complaining. I bent down to pick up the ice cream. I pretended to be touched and said this was a little snack he gave me. I also said the money in the card was just enough to buy it, so I had been reluctant to eat it. My husband's younger brother immediately laughed at him for being too stingy. My husband, afraid of being scolded by his mom, hurriedly covered my mouth. He told me to talk about it when we got home, but I saw that trace of a smile on my mother-in-law's face. I already had a plan in my heart.